All right, looks like it's gonna be a good morning. Getting ready to take my number one man to school.
Hi.
First, we gotta stop off at Meijer for a little distilled water. You might wonder why, and I'll let you know a little bit later. All right, here we are walking into Meijer, getting ready to go in there, get some distilled water. And distilled water is going to be a key part of today's video, so we'll see if you can figure out why. So you may wonder why we stopped and got distilled water. Here's the thing. I find myself right now in the middle of a sinus infection. For those of you who get them, I'm sure you thoroughly enjoy them like I do. The one thing they have going for them is you can't give them to somebody else. So that's kind of nice. But anyway, I usually get them about once a year. Sometimes in a bad year, I'll get 2 or 3, but usually it's about once a year. You know, cold brings it on or something like that. But the random thought for this video is just, how do we get rid of them? How do we treat them? A lot of times people reach out to their physician, their doctor, or maybe even do telemedicine or anything like that, and get antibiotics and things like that. And that's all well and good. I've done that quite a bit in the past. But I'm always interested in what other solutions people have found. Now, me personally, I tend to use some combination of medicine and other options. So the reason we were stopping to get distilled water is because I do nasal irrigation, or this neti pot thing you may have heard. There used to be commercials on it. I haven't seen them much lately. But the idea being is that you're cleaning out the sinuses, at least these sinuses, with some form of saline solution. It sounds about as enjoyable as it is, and probably less enjoyable to even watch it. But I usually do that and combine that with Sudafed or something like that to try and dry me out a little bit. And, you know, if I get a really bad sinus and headache or something like that, then you may get, you know, some Aleve or Tylenol or aspirin, some form of pain reliever. And I will say this, my sinus infections, even though I certainly don't enjoy them, they're not nearly as bad as some that a lot of people get. And I feel for those people. It turns out when I went to an ear, nose, throat doctor several years ago that I actually have no upper sinuses. I have no sinuses up here. So those who may someday watch this video and thought that either in the past or currently I'm a hard-headed person, that's actually literally true. This is all bone. So that's kind of what I do. And I do want to be clear, this video is by no means medical advice or anything like that. You really should talk to a physician on any type of medical issue you're having. I'm not a physician. I don't play one on TV. I do like Holiday Inn Expresses, but I did not stay at one last night. But anyway, so I just throw that out. That's kind of what I do. But I'm curious to know what you all do. I'd love to get feedback. Maybe try some stuff that has worked for other people who have dealt with sinus infections. I'm particularly interested in any things that you found that work really well for you that are not medications. You know, I do find that the nasal irrigation does help. It tends to be a pretty temporary help, but that was the whole lead-in with the distilled water. You're supposed to use distilled water with them in the saline packet. Just dawned on me, I will, for the products that there's something to link to, as far as like the nasal irrigation stuff, I will put that down in the description as far as what I use for that. And there's nothing magic about it because I use it, obviously. And any links, they're not affiliate links. I don't have any of those or do any of those. Hope you find it beneficial. Give me your thoughts. Shoot them down in the comments below. And make sure to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and hopefully I'll get a new one out here pretty soon.